Breaking Through Exclusism presented by Dr. Miho Buchholz.
Greetings, I am Miho Buchholz. Standing here today, mindful of the complex history between Japan and Korea is by no means light. Yet I come with gratitude, trusting in the grace of Jesus Christ, who breaks down walls of division and makes us one. Japan and Korea, both monoethnic and monocultural societies, share a strong sense of exclusivity. In Japan's case, the Tokugawa shogunate's isolationist policy severed ties with the outside world for over 200 years. This legacy continued even after liberation, shaping a culture that resists accepting foreigners as insiders. Even long-term foreign residents in Japan often remain guests. This social tendency is mirrored within the church. Though outwardly welcoming, many churches react with discomfort when foreigners enter, treating them as temporary visitors. There exists a view of foreigners not as fellow believers, but merely as objects of service. This is not merely a language issue, but a deep-rooted insider-outsider consciousness. So how can the Japanese church overcome this exclusivity? The Japan Evangelical Association (JEA) has recognized this issue and made building relationships with the diaspora a key initiative. Leaders worship with diaspora churches and participate in gatherings like Bless Japan, modeling inclusion. However, participation from Japanese pastors remains limited. For this movement to continue, intentional involvement from senior leaders and broader support from local churches are essential. Yet there is hope. Bridges are already being built within the church. Returnees who encountered faith abroad bring empathy toward outsiders. International couples learn cooperation and understanding across cultures. Diaspora youth of the 1.5 and 2nd generations carry the potential to connect Japanese churches with the global church as cultural mediators. To truly overcome exclusivity, the church must move beyond moral appeals and build deep theological foundations. Diaspora missiology sees migrants not as mere recipients, but as mediators participating in God's mission. The heart of Missio Dei theology is this: when God moves, His people move. In this movement, the Japanese church must relinquish self-centeredness and discover a new center, Christ from the margins. Young Lee's theology of the margin leads us not to the center of power, but to the center of service. Just as Christ came to the margins, the church finds its true center when it moves toward the margins. Du Myung Chun's kingdom-centered identity echoes this message. Our belonging is not defined by blood or language, but by citizenship in God's kingdom. Ultimately, the Japanese church must walk three paths to overcome exclusivity. First, leaders must intentionally build relationships with the diaspora. Second, returnees, international couples, and diaspora youth must be embraced as bridges within the church. Third, theological foundations, migrant identity, marginal identity, and kingdom-centered identity must be cultivated through education. I stand here not as a representative of a powerful nation, but as one from the margins. Yet it is in the margins that we encounter the true center where Christ reigns. May the Japanese and Korean churches learn from each other's journeys. And may God weave a beautiful mosaic of churches embracing all nations and peoples.